Good morning. We're live here on Intech News Radio, reality radio where everybody can be a star. My name is Clinton Paris, and you are headed straight up the middle. I love starting the show off by saying good morning because, you know, we take for granted sometimes presence, opportunity, and the mere fact that another day comes and goes. But guess what? There are a lot of people that did not wake up today. They laid down last night and they did not get the opportunity to do what we're doing, and that is to be alive today. So listen, I don't care where you are, what your station in life is, what you're going through, what you are experiencing. I can affirm without a doubt, this is a good morning. So good morning to you all. Listen, I'm flying solo still, waiting on Pete to get back in here because somebody is going to have to reel me in and get me back under control. Because listen, if you give me an hour of just letting my mind ramble, this hour of therapy we do every Saturday morning, who knows where it might take us. For example, I had a very, very well programmed and planned out show this morning, but something just hit me I wanted to share with everybody. And listen, y'all, it's about having air conditioning and how it affects your life. And I don't care where you are in the country because I thought I saw was it Al Roker come out on Today's Show and said there's 100+ million Americans under heat advisory warnings. And I just felt this nationwide scramble of people getting indoors. And so DJ CEO is going to come in and join me, but I got to get this off my chest about AC because I've had two very, very recent experiences with air conditioning. The first one, DJ CEO, is this one. In about January, I realized one day the AC at the house was not working. And for those of you around the country, in Florida, we have a very moderate winter. It's very moderate, 70, 60s, 70s, 60s. And I didn't realize, like, wait a minute, I don't think we have two of those units. I'm not like you at the big three. I have two units at my house. So I was like, wait a minute, we got a unit outside, and so I had the AC guy come out. And, real nice guy, real sharp guy and whatnot. And he gave me a quote for the AC, and I went into sticker shock. And I told him, well, I will be getting back to you. So it took about 2 months, DJ CEO, for the AC at the house to get straightened out. And during that time, we rediscovered a couple of things around the house. We rediscovered opening windows. We rediscovered sitting outside.
Fresh air.
Yeah, we just rediscovered, letting nature flow as it would. And every now and again, one of the issues we had with a critter would get inside and, that would scare Samantha. We live out in the frogs, lizards, they find their way in. Mm-hmm. But we survived, and it was not until my daughter came home from spring break. And she just threw her head and said, like, how can y'all live like this? So the AC got fixed. Well, month or two back, I had this brilliant idea that, it was time that the wife get some new wheels. She just needed to, she's just going into a new time in her life. Kids out the house, she's doing a lot of new stuff. So, let's throw a new vehicle in the mix before your vehicle craps out to go with your newness you're experiencing about yourself. And so I got a hand-me-down SUV that the family vehicle has been using for years.
But we said newness.
Right.
You went from new to old.
Yeah, well, I did, but she's riding. The thing practically drives itself, man. Bells and bumps and she's constant when I get in there saying, it doesn't work that way. You have to do that. Cameras everywhere, lights going off, bells, whatever it is, disco group in the back seat, playing whatever she wants, jazz.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so she's riding good. I'm in her car. A couple weeks ago, the AC went out.
Ooh.
So I promptly took it to the shop, and I'm used to my other car going to the shop. And the guy said, $2,500 for the AC. And he ran off this long list of things his computer told him needed to be replaced. And I was like, wow, that's interesting there. So just as we did at the house, I rediscovered driving without AC. Now, the last time I drove a car without AC, it was my wife's college Sentra that her parents gave her to go to college. It had no AC and no power steering. It's one of the reasons to this day she's still gunned up, Bezel. You see, my wife, she got some guns on her. You know why? Her car did not have power steering. So she was,
Did she beat you up?
Well, we won't get into that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. She was a little gun. Even now, she'll growl. And she'll growl at you. But no AC in the car. So I discovered, and I want to talk to you all out there who are panicking right now in this heat.
Right.
Because for 2 weeks, with an average temperature of 96 degrees every day, I've been riding around in that Pathfinder with no AC. I rediscovered my windows down. There's a guy and myself today were having a conversation at a red light because he had his windows down. I thought to myself, when was the last time I actually talked to somebody at a red light in their car and I'm sitting in my car?
Right.
And I hope the brother was saying the same thing is, man, I hope your life pick up and get better. Because I was saying the same thing about his ride. It was real hooped out. You know, the door handle was missing, the window was, and we've chatted about, hey, man, it's hot. Yeah, man, it's gas. We chatted about the same thing everybody chat about. But here's what I found out. One, I rediscovered parking in the shade.
Okay.
One of the things. I rediscovered riding with 3 windows down and 1 window up to block the sun. You know, the tent. You don't want the sun coming in, right? I also rediscovered making sure whatever way you go, you need to keep rolling. You can't get stuck in traffic with no AC. It's too hot. So I'm always looking to think, well, if I'm going this direction, or I come here now, I come a completely different. I always come through the North Sassa to get here now, because I'm trying to avoid getting stuck in traffic. But I'm saying that to say to everybody out there, listen, don't panic because of this heat. It is very survivable, and you'd be surprised how many other people are getting along very well without AC. Now today, though, I got a buddy of mine that has he's not a shade tree mechanic, but he has a tent next to a tree that he works under. And I've got my parts in the car, and I've got his 6-pack that I promised him when he finished.
Right.
And I'm gonna go over, pull my car under his tent next to the tree.
Okay.
And I'm gonna sit outside with the rest of the fellas.
Yeah.
And
While
do some research for the show, talking to the people on the street while he fixes my AC, hopefully.
Okay.
Now I'm assured that he sobers up by 12 o'clock.
This is today.
This is the day. I'm meeting him right after late after the show.
Okay.
I'm told he sobers back up by midday and he does his work because he drinks on a little bit at night.
What year is that car?
It is I think a 2011.
Okay.
2011. So it's what 12 years old.
Okay.
Can you get a clip? You got to get a clip on your phone, and we can play it on the show.
Yeah. So
we need a clip.
we need to get about
Well, this sounds interesting.
20 seconds, 20 seconds to a minute of him working.
You want me to convince Tony to let me take a picture of him working on his
No,
tent.
we didn't say a picture.
Video.
Not just video of
Man,
him, a video of you conversating with the people too over there.
My research.
Your
You
research.
want my research? Okay,
Absolutely.
Okay, great. That I will focus on that. But the whole purpose of all this ranting, Daryl, is to reassure people around the country.
Okay.
Don't panic because it's hot. It's just nature. We survived this so many decades and years, and as we roll into celebrating Juneteenth, our people made it without it. We need not be in a panic because
I have
it
one
is so
issue
hot.
though. I have one issue. See, I have no AC and my window don't go down, so I'm kind of stuck. I'm kind of
man.
stuck.
See, I was going to tell you, you preaching to the choir.
I don't deal with the window down, but the AC piece, I can help you out with that and reassure people, because as we go into this week, it's a great weekend. Celebrating Juneteenth. Daryl, we talked about that a little bit last week.
Yes, we did.
And Father's Day, and let's talk about Father's Day for a little bit,
Okay.
because I always talk about the greatness of the black woman and all that they've endured to hold the black family together. And then when the man falls apart and drifts off the table and goes wherever he goes, the mother stays put and holds that family together.
Absolutely.
But there are so many men holding up their end of the bargain,
Yeah.
making things happen, sacrificing, expanding their own horizons to make what needs to be done for the family. And a lot of times it's in a non-traditional way that sometimes gets discounted. For example, you just think about the number of uncles, not fathers, who fill fatherly roles, brothers who step in and fill fatherly role. When the actual father of the house leaves the house, oftentimes it's that that elderly son
You're right.
that
Steps
rolls
in.
in and bears the burden that needs to be borne for that. And I just think that I love the idea of really taking a moment to celebrate fathers this Father's Day and appreciate what they do. You know, there's a reason black men die so young.
What is that reason?
And that is because they carry so much extra burden of society to move it along. All of it is contained in one pot. It's just who gets to pull out of the pot. And out of that pot, other people are pulling more because we work harder.
Okay.
We don't get the best medical care.
Mhm.
We do not take care of ourselves mentally,
Mhm.
you know, and we just grind it out. That's the only word I can use. Only word is really, really grind it out. And I just want to encourage everyone, wherever you are, and if you listen to us on the radio, go to our Facebook page at InTouch News and post something about Father's Day.
That's a great
Let
idea.
us know what you're doing for
Let
Father's
us-
Day,
yeah.
or a favorite thought about a father.
Or just tell your own father.
You know,
Happy
I
Father's Day.
spoke about my father last year, Green Paris.
Okay.
Who just I just sometimes just think about, I would have loved to have been older, because he died when I was 19 when he died. I would have loved to have been able to observe him as an adult and as a father myself.
Yeah, but at 19, that was you man. I'm telling you. And you were are you the youngest?
I have a younger sister.
A younger
A
sister.
younger sister.
And how many ahead of you?
7.
See, so you still got a good bit of your father. I'm not.
Listen, I got more than enough. You know, some people wish that I didn't get this much. You know,
yeah.
as my brother told me, he said, "Listen, man, you know, you lucky."
Yeah.
I said, because he said by the time Dad got around to you, he
was
wasn't
tired.
he wasn't
He
as
wasn't-
potent. He
exactly.
said you didn't get a full dose.
You didn't get a full.
He
dose.
said I got a full blast.
Absolutely.
He said, so
Absolutely.
I have a reason that I'm crazy.
Yeah.
You have no reason to be off your rockers because you've been diluted. You know, you got the leftovers. You know, so I want to encourage everyone, DJC. I know that you have a great relation. Your family, your father is a major role in your life, but I just want to encourage everyone. Really, it's a great moment to really think about the power of what's involved, and do not that they're perfect. Throw that away because you're
Right.
not perfect either. But I want people to reflect on Father's Day.
Well, and I think most people, most fathers. Let me get to fathers. Most fathers are not looking for big gifts, and most fathers on Father's Day are just looking for a love.
Yes.
That come by, fix me a little dinner, spend some
Acknowledgement.
time with me, bring the kids or the grandkids over, just give me, because as a father, the things that we look for the most is being able to look at the legacy that we're leaving. And so
Yes.
we want to share in those moments and be a part of what it is that we've built or are building. And for me, that's what I look for. I'm looking for, I want to see the future in the eyes of my children and my grandchildren. And that's what Father's Day really means to me. That's what
I was lamenting the other week back or so. You had family in town, everybody's at the house, and I've often thought about that when I've come to your house and thought, I can imagine what this place is like when everybody's here and it's full.
Wow.
The people that live there, not the stranger. Because I come as a stranger.
There's always somebody.
We're out in the backyard. I'm looking up at the windows and thinking, man, that must be just wonderful. All the sounds and noises and smells and
No doubt.
movement inside of there. And that's what fathers enjoy. And hopefully fathers, you're in the golden years, Daryl, where you're getting to enjoy all that hard work, the many days and nights you spent away,
Right.
the many things you missed, the many things you couldn't be at because you had to provide.
Absolutely.
And sacrifice. That's what I'm talking about, the pulling from the pot.
And one thing I want a lot of young men out there to understand and to realize, the media has popularized baby mama daddy and
Yes.
those kinds of things. And I really want young men to understand what it means to be a father. My daddy used to say, man is not broad shoulders or narrow hips. Man is a responsibility.
Wow.
And so there's a responsibility in being a father, and you just can't send in a payment and think that you're doing the right thing and visit your child,
Yes.
twice a month and think that hey man, I'm taking care of my kids. Well, no, you aren't, because kids need their father in the strangest times, like at 3 o'clock in the morning, when mama is too tired to get up, then that's when daddy steps in. And it's those kinds of moments that help to mold and shape your child. So as a father, you are required to shoulder responsibility. And when we get back from this break, Clint, take us out.
Man, you gotta stole my break.
Take us out.
Hey,
I know that's your thing.
If he steals my break, 'cause listen, that Father's Day is a setup. When we come back, let's talk about Herschel Walker. We'll be right back after this break.
I like that.
We're playing your favorite old school. Today's R&B. With a smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
Call Ricky. Ask Ricky. You need medical or a lawyer? I got the man to do the legwork for you. We tried the other ones before, so believe we hunted down 813-248-6300. Everything gon' be okay. Call Ricky, he coming. He taking care of state of Florida. Grab a pen of sundown 184-361-RICK. That's 184-361-425. Never word from the point forward, just recline. Just ask Ricky, plus your boy statewide. Just in case you missed it, I'ma tell you one more time. 184-361-RICK. Call Ricky, ask Ricky, is a legal medical referral service. The doctors and lawyers in our network are trained in handling auto injury claims and giving you the best medical treatment and recovery. Dial 1-844-361-RICK. That's 1-844-361-7425. Ricky. Ask Ricky.
By now, we're all aware of the dangers of COVID-19. Like others with existing health issues, cancer patients are at a high risk due to their compromised condition. If you are newly diagnosed with cancer, your care likely can't wait. Moffitt Cancer Center is the best place for your cancer concerns and to provide guidance to help you plan your next steps. We're here for you. Call 1-888-456-2839 or go to moffitt.org/here for you.
I feel bad for what I was feeling right then.
What were you feeling?
Usually, I'm such an altruistic, understanding, and congenial person. But in my heart, I was saying, man, if Daryl steals my exit transition.
I saw you shaking over there, going through withdrawals, like, oh, man, I can't believe he's going to take my last
what
little
can I
hit.
say? You know, it's your show. Anyway, so we're talking about fathers, and the reason we can drift into this as a transition is what's happening up in Georgia and the implications nationwide. Now, let me remind everybody.
What's happening in Georgia?
In Georgia Senate race, you have Warnock versus Herschel Walker for the U.S. Senate.
Okay.
The Senate is even.
Right.
Herschel wins, and I think it was a dead heat, or he may have been leading in that race. The Senate flips back, and now the Republicans control the Senate.
Well, now, the Senate is not even.
Senate is 50-50.
No, it's 52-48.
No, the Senate is 50-50.
No, it's 52-48. You got two you got two senators that
they say they Democrats.
Yeah, but they Republicans. All right,
yeah.
go ahead.
So that's really the national implications. So the nation, world, countrywide is watching kind of that Senate race in Georgia, particularly because Donald Trump recruited Herschel Walker to come and run against. I think is it Harold Warnock or I think it's Warnock. Anyway, that's his name.
Raphael
Warnock. That's his name. Okay, Carl, don't run off the road because I called you person from Georgia by the wrong name.
Yeah.
But so some stuff has been Herschel's not been vetted publicly. His life when you run for office,
they dig deep.
Everything about you comes out.
Yes, it does.
Everything comes out, and so Herschel Walker has not publicly been acknowledging his full family structure.
Right.
and in particular, as it relates to some of his children. Now, some people would say, well, should he be out talking about his children in the political realm?
Right.
The second one is whether or not his relationship to his children is relevant to his potential service as a senator.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where it becomes a issue and problematic.
Okay.
He has spent a lot of time giving advice on fatherhood. He's gone on record giving guidance, and kind of like Bill Cosby did, deciding, you know
Right.
what, let
yeah.
me tell y'all how to do your business at your house.
Right.
You know, and now it comes out he has a number of out of wedlock children.
Okay, do you have a definitive number?
We're at 3.
3.
We're at 3.
Out of wedlock.
Yes.
How many are in wedlock?
I don't know that part.
Okay.
You know,
But he's got 3 out of
He's
wedlock.
got 3.
He got 3 baby mamas?
He's got 3 baby mamas.
Oh, well, 4.
And one of the issues that he has is the relation. Like, well, this youngest child is, you know, he talked about sending some stuff on holidays and whatnot, but according to the child's family members, there's no relationship.
Oh, you mean just like what I was talking about before we went
Yes.
to break?
Yes. And you're giving guidance on
Fatherhood.
fatherhood.
Herschel.
The question is, how will this impact his potential for winning in that political race?
Well, we already know the answer. The answer is those that are on the Republican side don't care about that because they voted for a guy that likes to grab women between their legs. They voted for a guy that likes to lie a lot. They vote for a guy that in my mind, it has no morality clause at all.
Well, this is interesting you say that because with Donald Trump,
Mm-hmm.
all those things you said,
yes.
they're not true.
What do you mean?
The allegations of things that he did,
Oh,
his people view that as that's not true.
that's not true.
And I don't know if that kind of Teflon persona
Is on Herschel.
will right.
Well,
He's a black man in Georgia. It's a little
absolutely.
different.
It's a lot different.
You're not expected to have values and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
So it's easier to say, I can believe that. But, you know, Donald Trump's a rich white guy. You can't be a rich white guy and not have values and morals. That's kind of how his people see it. So
Okay.
anything you say negative about him is just because you don't like him. That's all you're saying. That grabbing stuff, that's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true.
Right.
That's fake. All that's fake.
Even though he said it.
Yeah, well, the recording sounds like he said it. It's fake. And it's interesting that works.
Okay.
That's what I think is a problem. What Herschel's going to have is Herschel's doesn't have that kind of demeanor or persona.
So are you saying that Herschel is going to lose this race?
Yeah, I think Herschel. I think for America to be America,
Mm-hmm.
Herschel's got to lose that race. For Georgia to be the state it wants to be, Herschel's got to lose that race. Herschel has no business in Congress.
Has
no business.
Does he have any political?
No.
So this is his first race.
He's in that show because he was in dire straits,
Mhm.
and Donald Trump gave him a hand up.
Oh, okay.
Donald Trump invited him on his show. Donald Trump embraced him. And there are a number of people that have said that. Listen, when nobody else would give me a chance, Donald Trump did.
So was he primary?
Yeah, he won the primary.
Herschel Walker.
Yeah, he won the primary. Yeah, easily won the primary.
Wow.
He's got Donald Trump's endorsement.
Mm.
And the question will be, how far will that take him? Because slowly more, think about this is what's come out about Herschel so far in that Senate race up in Georgia. Issues with his ex-wife, domestic violence, some mental instability, and some things. Lying about his academic credentials. He lied about that he graduated from Georgia, which he never did. Things of that nature has come out to show that this guy really is untrustworthy.
You mean I thought Georgia gave him an honorary degree?
That's not
true.
That doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
That
doesn't count.
Yeah, you get that's not graduated.
Okay.
That's not earned.
Oh, that's not okay.
And I don't know what they've done. But so there are a number of things that have already come out about Herschel Walker.
Uh-huh.
And the question will be, will Georgians because they rejected Donald Trump stepping in already in a couple of ways,
Okay.
as it relates to their governor, their Secretary of State. And so you now have Herschel Walker with this, and it's being blown up now because of Father's Day around Herschel Walker. And the question really is how Republicans respond to that. At some point in time, you have to, the more and more that comes out of the January 6th hearings it's about values. I've really found out about Pence. What he did was strictly about values, which surprised me because I thought he'd given that up to be vice president.
His values.
Yes.
He did. He did. So is there any value to others calling for him to have shown his value structure sooner, like 30 days sooner versus on the 6th, on December 6th when he knew it was wrong?
It's kind of interesting. The question really, if you say that, would be, well, what is that? What you can say things, but what do you do? And when it came down to it, the process he went through a methodical process of verifying what's my duty in this space, legally, constitutionally, to arrive at the place.
So he needed all that time.
I don't know if he needed all of it, but the way it manifests itself was, what was he going to do? Have a press conference? What would he do? Do an article? Hold an interview? What he did is, when it was time for him to exercise his duty, he did what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know that there was another mechanism or vehicle that would have allowed him to otherwise show. No need for him to comment on Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
See, we confuse talking with doing. We confuse writing with doing. Going to a protest is not actually doing something. You just showed up at an event. And we confuse that sometimes. And so I was really interested to see when it came for the place where he was supposed to do what he's supposed to do. He did it. And we're going to talk about the January 6th hearing a little bit. If you don't mind, I'll segue into that real quick. The January 6th hearing. Have you been watching those?
I've seen some of them.
So educational to me. I just love history. And to be able to watch this historical moment and learn more about it.
Right.
So I went back and somebody said, well, how do you do a coup? How do you coup a country? 60% of all coups have happened when the president is away.
Is away.
The leader is away.
But that's a military coup.
Whatever coup.
Okay.
Most coups happen when the president is gone. He's somewhere else. He's out visiting.
Right.
He's on vacation.
Right.
He's on holiday. He's out of the country.
Yeah.
Coup. The others happen by mere execution of the leader. And
Assassination.
And somebody else declares
that
I am now in charge. It was very interesting to me to find that. So physical location and presence has a big impact on coups. It lends itself to our group think.
Okay.
And so this comes into play at the Capitol. Here's what I learned this week, Darryl.
What's that?
The president put one of his minions in charge of the Secret Service, who were supposed to give directions to the Secret Service guarding Pence. When the Capitol was breached, Donald Trump's directions to the Secret Service were, get him out of the building.
Get him out of the building.
And if you get him out of the building, you now have nothing to fight for in the building.
Right.
Physical presence. Pence wouldn't leave. He refused to leave the building. So they ended up bunkering him in a parking lot in the bottom of the Capitol because he understood, if we give up the building, it signals this is working.
Right.
So one of his steps was, I'm staying in the building until I finish what I have to do under the Constitution.
Absolutely.
Very powerful in and of itself.
Yeah.
So the president's got his guy to tell him, get out of that building.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you get him out of the building, the chances are he'd never get back in the building.
He'd never.
And now you can't certify the election.
Right.
And you continue to drag. And the longer you drag this out, the more chances for something else to happen.
So Pence understood that. That's why he refused to get into the car.
Refused to leave the building. He was also concerned about the international implications of the outside chaos, and then his motorcade vacated.
Yeah, he's fleeing the activity.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very interesting dynamic historically of maintaining physical possession and presence. So oftentimes you'll have, like in Ukraine, the first thing they said is, Zelensky, you need to leave. And what is his response? I'm not leaving Ukraine.
I'm not leaving Ukraine. It's always been my contention that had Donald Trump done exactly what he said he was going to do, which was, I'm going to meet you down there at the Capitol, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Because had he gone to the Capitol with that angry mob, I see our democracy I believe it would have fallen.
Well, right, exactly. The idea of our democracy, because millennia of the world history has been acquisition by aggression. I get it because I take it. Russia and Ukraine. Almost every border has been drawn by aggression, meaning I fought to create that border.
Right.
It wasn't given to me. I fought to create every border. We go around the world. Wherever you find borders, they were fought for it. And so we would default back to what has led and held them. And acquisition by aggression is biblical.
Yeah.
You repeatedly have, God told us to come take this from y'all. Here we come. And so those are the interesting perspectives playing out. And that's out of this January 6th thing, that was really one of the things that got me, was that component of the physicality of stay in that Capitol. Don't leave the building. And we might then be able to get back to normal order. That was one of the things. When we come back, we're going to talk some more about the January 6th hearing, who's winning, who's losing, and whether or not it makes a difference. We'll be right back after this message.
This is Ainsley Doe with Florida Realty Unlimited. As a broker with 15 years experience and a veteran of the Navy, I do understand your needs. Real estate prices are up. So if you're thinking of selling your home, call me for a free market analysis. If you're planning to buy a home, please call me for a free buyer's consultation. For more information, call Ainsley Doe at 813-546-1954. Once again, the number is 813-546-1954. Or check my ad out in the In Touch You.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
God bless each and every one of you, and have a happy 4th of July. This is Pastor Harold Ford. Join us this weekend for the House of Gospel Music. Cherry Johnson tells us about the freaks who slapped the babies behind. Evangelist Dorothy Norwood stops by to tell us a real story. And all of your gospel favorites back to back on the House of Gospel Music. Gospel Hallelujah, heard right here on this great radio station.
Listening to me on the Intense News website, know that you can also watch live on Facebook and provide comments there. And if you put something in the Facebook chat, our engineer will get that, Bezel will get that information over to me, and we'll see what we can do to answer that question for you. So we've drifted into our discussion about the January 6th hearings. This was a discussion about one, the hearings going prime time, and then the multitude of hearings. I believe that we're in a new era There was a time when hearings could only be found on C-SPAN.
Right.
There's the only place you can go find any of these hearings. And I just think it's prudent now in today's space that we utilize technology and information differently. These were the same arguments made when Nixon and Kennedy had their first televised debate. Whether or not it was appropriate to have a presidential discussion in the midst of TV and all that good stuff. And Nixon wouldn't wear makeup. Kennedy did. He looked young and viral, and ladies liked him. Made a good presentation, and people think that catapulted Kennedy to winning that election. I think we're in a new age. We have to use new technology differently to inform the populace. And I commend the committee for putting this hearing together in this way that you can digest it. So the most recent hearings Thursday were related to Donald Trump's efforts to influence Mike Pence and all the various things that he did.
Okay.
Culminating with what I just described was getting Pence out of the building, which did not work. Pence stayed in the building. But one of the two things I love doing is I love hearing the other side. Darryl has been struggling to get that, and that's why I got to get Pete back in here. Poor professor, we can get him educated enough. We can get him back in here, get his doctorate. Maybe he could actually stand up to some direct, questioning. So,
no, he's still gonna crumble.
Professor, if you're out there, I mean, good luck with your studies on your doctorate degree. Get it done, and then hopefully that piece of paper will help you out with some stronger Republican arguments. But one of the arguments they're making, Darryl, is the lack of balance on the hearing committee. I mean, not an equal number of Republicans to Democrats. Do you think that's going to be a factor in how the public sees this as a one-sided presentation?
No, I don't, because the public already knows that initially when the committee started, there was an even number of Republicans and Democrats assigned to the committee. Well, almost even. Okay.
Well, this is a special select committee. So it's a little different than a regular committee.
Okay.
And in a special select committee, who actually serves is up to Nancy Pelosi, majority leader.
Okay.
And the people that the Republicans put forward, she said were unacceptable because they were all election deniers.
Right.
Yeah, they were all election. They denied that the election went the way that it did. And so she was like, listen, we're not going to let you all get up here and make a mess out of this. So we're not going to have just, what we called troublemakers.
Yeah, the Jim Jordans. Yeah, I remember that.
Jim Jordan, and she got a couple other folks to serve. Liz Cheney being the lead Republican, and she is the vice chair of the committee. Liz is doing a great job.
Excellent job.
I it's one thing to disagree with politics.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't disagree with your principles. And in this case, she is showing her principles are well founded.
She's a true Republican.
Right.
She represents what that party stands.
Yeah.
Well, no, what it stands for. What it used to.
So the January 6th. So they've got a couple now. Do you think that they're dragging this out too long, or should they have already gotten the hearings done and wrapped them up by now?
It should have been done. It should have been done by the end of May. I like what the committee is doing. I like what they've done. They've kind of slow walked this thing, but realistically, by ending in June, that's about 30 to 45 days too long, because you can rest assured that if the Attorney General decides to take this case up, he's going to be even slower. And I think that the June 6th committee will show beyond a reasonable doubt that there was a conspiracy to overthrow. Let me rephrase that. There was the allegation is there were people that were trying to stop the order of business that the government of the United States has to get done by trying to get rid of those electors. That's what it's going to show that. And it's also going to show a connection with President Trump being a conspirer.
I've never seen somebody as slippery and slimy as he is.
I know it.
I'm all. Let me say, as a lawyer, sometimes I have to dice words.
Okay.
And I have to be real thoughtful about dicing a word. You know, that could really, I meant A, but I said B. And if you accuse me of saying A later, I can say that's not what I said.
That's not what I said.
I said B. You interpreted A
Yeah.
because I did really want you to interpret A, but I really said B.
Right.
So you can't hold me accountable for A.
Right.
You know, but it takes effort to do that.
It does.
You know, and to hold it together. It's just his natural flow.
Well,
I mean, it's just his natural. It's like Jay-Z, you know, freestyling.
I think no. Here's what I think that somebody gave him a playbook of how to become an autocrat in broad daylight. Now I don't know who it is, but it could have been somebody like a Putin. Because I don't think he has the wherewithal to.
One of the things, he's had this loose connection to reality for decades.
He has.
And he has had a grandiose opinion of himself that's it's unfounded. It doesn't make any sense.
It does not.
It means undetached. And as Barr said in his hearing, if you believe this, it means that you're detached from reality.
Wow. He did.
Barr said that.
Barr said that.
Now, the problem that Barr got is that he's been detached from reality for decades.
But he didn't believe it. He just used it.
That's the crazy part. I think this guy believes this stuff.
No, Clint. No way.
I think he's that
He doesn't.
delusional.
No, he is not. He is not that delusional.
Listen, there was a guy that went to a pizza parlor in Washington, D.C. to help rescue kids and people being in the human traffickers being held in the back room and shot at the back door because he heard it on the internet through a QAnon conspiracy.
Right.
And that Hillary and Bill Clinton were involved.
Were
What people
involved.
believe is it really is that. And I'll tell you, I was involved once in a case where a lady.
And so you think Donald Trump is of that mind?
Listen, if you've not talked to somebody completely detached, it's scary. I had a lady once thought she was from Mars, and then she had magical surgical abilities. And just to look somebody in the eye and say, "Okay, man, where are you from? I'm from Mars."
Okay.
And that's what she believed, and that's just what she. It's just what that's, you know.
What does that say about the voter of this man?
Hold on. America voters have always been, I would like a word, naive. American voters are extremely ignorant.
You think so?
If I sit the average person down right now and say, explain to me inflation.
Oh,
that means people doing bad. That's not inflation.
right.
That's what you're feeling, experiencing. But explain to me inflation.
Inflation.
Explain to me what is money. Oh, I tell you what money is. What's in my wallet?
Yeah.
You know, what is democracy?
Right.
What is democracy? And then how we don't have that. We hear words like electoral college. Like I learned, I did not know the election was not final until the vice president certified it.
Mm.
Just think who they put that in the hands of. And think how often the vice president is doing what? He's running for president. Just think about that.
Right.
Most of the time, the vice president runs for
president.
For president.
So where does Kamala fit in all of this?
Oh, and I saw Kamala. I saw Kamala.
You did?
I saw Kamala.
What was she doing?
Holding a press conference.
What was it about?
It was about internet hostility and how it's being used to impact people. I saw Kamala.
Oh, good.
She looked so weak.
She did.
She looked ultra. She know what she sounded like?
Who?
She sounded like a PTA president.
Wow.
She did not sound like the vice president of the United States. She sounds like some lady in charge of a homeowner association who had issues with the internet.
Wow.
It didn't come off with the force and vigor you expect the vice president to come in, particularly her.
Right.
And I know what know what her problem is.
What is it?
To get what she's gotten, she's had to be really tough and nasty and throw elbows at a lot of people. And she doesn't want to come off as harsh and insensitive. She don't want to come off as detached herself from the average person. But guess what? There's a way you do that. I mean, I think Nancy Pelosi is tough, mean, and a hard negotiator.
No doubt about that.
But Kamala's afraid, and I think that may be some of the duplicity that America demands of black women. She has to have a different kind of tone.
Right.
She doesn't want to get boxed in like Hillary did.
Well, they're going to box in anyway.
She's already boxed in.
It doesn't matter.
She's already boxed. She lets people. I mean, there are a lot of handling about her I don't like.
Right.
She's never in a natural environment.
What do you mean natural environment?
Walking through a park doing an interview, sitting on a park bench, having a sandwich with somebody at a soda shop. She's never in a natural living environment. Everything is always, there was this great interview with President Obama in Thailand. I think it was Thailand that he was in.
It's a lot of places.
But the interview starts with Obama jumping out the limousine in the middle of the road with traffic and it's raining. He stops, waves to the crowds, waves. He jumps over a puddle of water and walks into a little cafe and sits down. I mean, it's like I could have been doing this. Right, what I would have been doing.
Right.
I mean, it was just such a natural moment. Hers is always structured, cameras, lights.
I told you the first 2 years are Joe Biden's years. She is going to be in the shadows. Now, come January of next year, I think you're going to see a different Kamala.
I hope so, and I'm, I hope so. I don't know.
Clint, we started out talking about Juneteenth.
Oh, let's get back. You're fine.
I want to talk about the flag when
take
we come.
us out of
No, I'm not going. No, because after the show is over, you'll be mad about it. I didn't do all my. But go ahead, take us out.
Right. Let's talk. We're going to talk about the Juneteenth, the real flag.
The real flag.
According to DJ CEO. We'll be right back after this message.
Listening to Tampa Bay Tammy,
your girlfriend,
on In Touch Radio.
In Touch Radio.
You've been injured. You deserve help from an attorney that knows how to handle your injury claim. This is Attorney Clinton Paris from the Law Office of Clinton Paris. For over a decade, I worked for insurance companies, and now I use that knowledge and experience to help people that have been injured. For a free consultation, call me, Attorney Clinton Paris, at 813-413-7924. That's 813-413-7924, or at parislawoffice.com. At the Law Office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being hurt. Offices, Riverview.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call Herman White at 961-6661. That's 961-6661.
All right, we're back live at Intex News Radio, Reality Radio on this Father's Day Eve.
Juneteenth Eve.
Last night I went out with a buddy of mine, Dad. I got a new stealth driver.
I knew you was going to say you had a new driver.
Tailor-made.
I knew it.
9-degree loft, Ventus black shaft in there, mid grill, hydrotrajectory kick tip.
Yeah,
it's nice. And
have you used it?
Yeah, I went out on Wednesday with a buddy of mine, and we were playing around, and he was playing well. We got to the backside, and he decides, hey, listen, let's play for some wings.
Yeah.
So
he was feeling himself.
Yeah, he won the first hole. He's all jiggy. I won every other hole. We went out and had some wings, and I saved a few. Garlic parmesan. I kept probably 5 garlic parmesan. And like a good father, when I came home, my daughter was home.
Okay.
I said, Samaya, I have some garlic parmesan wings. You're welcome to have some if you'd like to. Oh, no, thank you, Dad. All right, fine. So I put them in the fridge. So yesterday, I came home.
They were gone.
And I said, listen, y'all, to kick off the eve of Father's Day, I'm going to have my leftover wings. She got up and walked out the room. Needless to say, my wings were gone, man. As we kick off the eve of Father's Day, talking about Juneteenth. Now, Daryl, you were educating me. You said, I've got a flag at my house. If you go to my Facebook page, you will see I am flying a Juneteenth flag. I went online, like every novice all of us Southern novice Juneteenth celebrators, and I bought a flag.
You bought a flag
that says Juneteenth.
Right.
Because I wanted my neighbors
to know.
It's Juneteenth.
It's Juneteenth. Okay, so
my shirt, I don't know if you can see my shirt online.
You ready for it? Yeah. Pull it up.
Put the flag. So here's my shirt. I got my Juneteenth shirt.
You got your Juneteenth shirt on. You know,
matching shorts. I mean, I'm all.
You know,
ready.
yeah, it's cool. It
So
all.
Educate us though about the flag.
Well, here's the thing. So Tammy and I, when we moved to Florida, Tampa, we started Juneteenth back in the 1990s, and the flag back then is the red, black, and green flag. And so we've used that flag to celebrate Juneteenth for forever.
When you say we.
When I say we, okay, here's Juneteenth, of course, started in Texas, but the celebration of Juneteenth didn't begin until, in the late 1960s. And there were just a few, like in New York, Buffalo, New York, as a matter of fact, New York, and in Texas, where they celebrated, they used the red, black, and green flag. So the red, black, and green flag has always represented and been flown on Juneteenth Day. So to all those that are celebrating Juneteenth right now, we have to, as a people, I think we need to continue to stand behind the red, black, and green flag. When you start to introduce new flags, because there is a holiday. So now we've got about 3 or 4 or 5 different kinds of Juneteenth flags.
I saw red, white, and blue.
That these flag manufacturers are trying to get us to buy. That's just a gimmick. I'm saying to you, it's just like sticking to the rebel, just like the folks want to stick with that the rebel flag. We need to stick with the flag that we've always flown, which is the red, black, and green flag. That's what represents Juneteenth. So come on, jump on in.
You want the truth? You want the truth?
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
I can handle the truth
because the internet has the truth. So
look at that.
I'm on the
look
internet.
at that. I saw that. I saw that flag.
Evidently, somebody has adopted an official.
That's not it. Look at that. What is that? It almost has a look. Oh man, that's ridiculous.
Hey, listen, so if you go and Google Juneteenth flag Wikipedia, there's an actual article.
Do we have the flag up? You have his flag up.
Wait, this not. It's the flag that I bought
Look at
online.
that.
I went online and bought. But evidently, somewhere this is the official Juneteenth flag.
By who?
Anyway, so there's a flag. All right.
So his is up. Okay, it looks like the United States flag, with some red, black, and green colors in it.
Yeah, man, that thing looks so nice.
Turn around.
I put my lights on it.
Let me see.
I put the lights on it last night outside. It was just waving in the breeze.
Let me see that.
What you want to, Daryl? It's so critical. It is.
Man, listen. Look, I'm trying to see the monitor, y'all. So it's weak.
It's just a flag. Well, okay.
No, it's not just a flag.
Well, let me say this though: I'm confused. I'm very.
What are you confused about? About the
history,
red, black, and green flag?
Red, black, and green flag. I can't find any history to go with it.
Okay, so
the red, black. So if you go to our face-to-face, the
there it is.
News,
now we
about. You'll see the red, black, and green flag that Daryl was talking about.
So the red, black is and the history of that flag is so. The red is for the blood, the black is for the people, and the green is for the lush forests of Africa. That's what the red, black, and green flag stands for. The blood we shed. That's what that flag stands for. And we've always associated that flag was born out of Juneteenth. When Juneteenth was started, that's when we created that red, black, and green flag. So to come on and now all of a sudden we got 5 different flags out here, that's stupid. It's
how do we get to a uniform position on this?
We're going to have to discuss it. We're going to have to talk about it.
And that's where we start here. And in my Facebook post, I suggested people take this as an opportunity to talk about their family history, to talk about the history of Juneteenth,
and
what it means for America.
Well,
because I think people are struggling. What do I do with this? Do I just
nobody?
do I just
It's going to take a couple of generations for it to really have any meaning. So it's going to take our children to embrace it. Now I know my children understand that red, black, and green flag because I sold the flag in the 90s, created my commercial and everything.
I remember
I sold that flag.
Fashion show, the whole. I was there.
Yes. So we had 4 years of Juneteenth in the 90s right here in Tampa, Florida. So it ain't nothing new.
Right.
But the only thing new to Juneteenth is these other stupid flags that they got out there. It's insane.
Well, part of what the first step is going to be, we have to educate the populace.
Okay.
And I wanted a flag that said Juneteenth on it.
Okay.
It needed to say that, so I didn't have to say it myself.
Does the United States of America flag have the United States written on it?
Not anymore.
Okay.
No, it does not.
Okay.
It does not.
So does the rebel flag have the colonies that it represents? Okay, it does not.
No, it does not. And let me say this.
Okay.
And because of that, there's a complete misrepresentation
of what the rebel flag stands for?
No. Of what the flag flying is. It is not the flag of the Confederacy. It's another flag.
It's another flag.
It is the flag. It's a battle flag.
Now, there's some etiquette that goes with flying a flag.
Because they used to communicate long distances using flags. And there was a whole flag corps designed to how do you communicate between ships and things.
Right.
And certain things you had to do for international protocol regarding how you handle a flag.
Now, since we are in the United States and the United States has a flag, if you're going to fly both flags, the United States flag and a Juneteenth flag, but I'm going to say the red, black, and green flag. If you're going to fly those flags together, the United States flag has to be at the very top.
It's at the top of all flags.
And then you can fly your flag underneath. The other thing is that your flag cannot be larger than the United States flag. It has to be either its size or a hair smaller.
Right.
But
that June, let me say why I picked that flag.
Why did you pick that flag?
Because it said Juneteenth on it.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have to say it.
And that red, black, and green, that red and blue flag, red, white, and blue flag.
Says it on that too.
It kind of gives me a little. It looks kind of Jewish to me.
I don't know enough about.
Well, it just gives it to me. It's like that don't represent us.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I'm surprised that. I'm surprised that somebody put that out. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. That if you're watching on Facebook, that's the flag. If you Google
it's depressing.
But
but we need to talk about it.
This is our process, though.
Okay.
Of bringing this holiday to life and giving it its actual constructive meaning that helps our society. And the first thing is letting people know it's that because if I just put that red, black, and green flag up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would. I'd have to actually go door to door in my community and educate everybody on what that flag is. But by me having it say Juneteenth, I don't have to talk about it. Now we can move beyond that as we go forward in other years with other things that commemorate Juneteenth and how we celebrate it as a country.
Well, my fear is that these other flags will begin to push the red, black, and green flag into the shadows, and it now is the time for that flag to come to the present day and stand for what it really does, what it means.
I just paid for that flag I just bought there. Let's go
okay,
fly for
you
a
can
minute.
return it, get your money back.
It's gonna have to fly for a minute. it's gonna have to fly. But whatever it is, just do something. I know this may not be dead on point with how everyone thinks, but we got to figure this holiday out.
We do now. Today, there are a lot of Juneteenth celebrations going on across the bay.
They're setting up something here.
There's something here at 5508. There's also something at Raymond James Stadium. It's from 3 until 9. A big Juneteenth celebration out there. So please attend something. I'd like for you guys to go out to Raymond James Stadium from 3 to 9 today, but attend some type of Juneteenth event and celebrate the freeing of the slaves and what this holiday can and should stand for.
On my firm announcement we put out, I posed it as the freeing of America. Because both sides were captured by slavery. Both sides of it were captured by it. It was the day America became free. I think it's very powerful that we embrace the wholeness of what that, because if General Granger doesn't land there, we don't move this whole process forward.
Now if Trump is reelected, he's going to shut down the holiday, right? He's going to, with executive order. He's just going to.
And that's why Congress passed it.
And DeSantis, I'm surprised he's even allowing it to be here in Florida.
Listen, it's been wonderful having you sit with me. Pete, we waiting on you, bro.
We waiting on you. Get well, brother. Get well.
Hey, and everybody have a great day. Enjoy your Father's Day.
Peace and blessings.
Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star. See you next week.
Peace.